My name is Adrian with Project Ramos, and on this channel, I do tech unboxings and tech reviews. So if you're into that type of content, consider subscribing. Today, we're going to be unboxing a variety of items during this lunch hour here. It's 12 o'clock on the West Coast here. I've got a couple of tools, two power banks, an air duster, and then also some Thunderbolt accessories. So we're going to start off with the tools. If you're new here on Amazon, consider following my page if you're into tech products. I'm real passionate. I'm a tech enthusiast about electronics. So I primarily do unboxings here on Amazon, but once I review the products, I am uploading full reviews of the products that we unbox here on my page. So if you want to either watch live and interact with me live, follow the page, or if you want to check out the reviews, also follow my page here. And if you're watching the recorded version on either Facebook or YouTube, be sure to follow me on Amazon. That way you can join me when I do go live, so we can discuss these products live on while we're on Amazon here. Loading up my chat room here. And if you are watching on Amazon, let me know in the chat room. That way I can say hi to you. I always like to know who is watching. And as we're unboxing products, if you have any questions on anything that I'm unboxing, feel free to ask and we'll discuss. So let's go ahead and jump into our first product. And this first one is an electric screwdriver, but this one is a more of a precision electric screwdriver. It's targeted to be able to work on small electronic devices. So let me go ahead and grab that now. And it's this guy right here. And this comes in handy if you are repairing or unassembling real small electronic devices. So let's go ahead and get this guy unboxed, and let's switch over to our overhead here. Need to start my background there. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Again, if you have any questions on these products, let me know in the comments. And also on Facebook and YouTube, if you do have questions on any of these products, you can drop a comment and I will get back to you as soon as possible. All right, so in the box, we do get the instruction manual. Okay, we're not going to take a look at that right now. Let's go ahead and just take a look at the actual tool. And for those of you watching on Amazon, whether you're watching live or you're watching the recorded version, the item is highlighted in the carousel, so you can check it out. All right, so this is a 28-in-1. Let me zoom in a little bit here. 28-in-1. So there is a button here that we push, and that allows us to open the product here. So here it is here. Has this little foam insert. I guess we could leave that in place. I want to take a look at all the accessories that we get with this. Not sure if that foam insert's supposed to come out. It looks like no. So to store, you leave this foam insert in there. All right, so we get this little piece here. Not sure what this is for as of yet. Then you got all the different little drill bits here. The charging cable, USB Type A to USB Type C. And looks like a little spudger there for repairing, things like smartphones. And here's a tool here. Looks like we get a forward and reverse button, and then a power button there. It looks like we get a LED indicator light there. And then the USB charging port is, let's see if I can get that in focus here. There we go there. The USB Type-C charging port is on the back there. And then the section here to be able to add the drill bits there. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat room. Looks like, oh, I see. Okay, so the screwdriver is already on, so it's going to work as soon as you press either the forward or backward button. This is actually a light, so when you press it, you can see that it illuminates my hand there. So it can help you if you're having to screw or unscrew in a dark area. That light will assist. So here, I'll get it close to the mic so you can hear it. So feels like it works. The motor's fairly strong there, so I'm going to take one of the bits here and let's see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, it's a little small, so that, oh, there we go. So you can see it spinning there. Doesn't spin very fast, which is good. And it doesn't have a chuck, so it will continue spinning. So you're going to have to kind of judge it there as far as when to stop. All right, very cool little item here. You know, I know we're still a couple months away from Christmas, but this would make a really good stocking stuffer here. One thing to note, you do need to shut off the light, so don't forget to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this all back in here. If you guys have any questions on this product, let me know in the chat room. We're going to move on to the next product. And even if we're unboxing the next product, if you do have a question on this one here, let me know in the chat room because it's going to be close at hand and we can discuss there. So again, I'm going to fully review this, try this out on a few items, see how it works, and then I'll be uploading that review onto my Amazon page. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next product. The next product is a, I'll explain in a second here. Let me grab it. Now, a lot of what I bring in to unbox and test are power banks, and I always like to know, you know, because the power banks always have the ratings on how fast it can, as far as watts go, how fast it can charge devices. And this tool here is a way to be able to measure how many watts are coming out of any charging port, whether it's a power bank, whether it's a wall charger, any type of charger that passes power. This tool can measure it. So this thing works very easy. Oh, that's interesting. This thing was already cut. I wonder if it was a used one. I hope not. All right, so I'll just get this out. And Klein Tools is actually a well-known brand in for tools. And the way this one works, you get these cables here. You got a USB Type A cable there, and then a USB Type C cable here. These are the inputs. So this is what would go into your charging device, whether it's a portable charger or a wall charger. And then on the opposite end is where you plug in your charging cable that's going to go to the device that you're going to charge. So USB Type C to USB Type A. And to demonstrate here, let's see if I have, well, yeah, let me grab a charging cable. 1 second. Okay, so I have a USB Type-C wall charger here. I'm going to plug that into the tool here. And then on the opposite end, I'm going to go USB Type-C to my AirPods. And my AirPods don't need a charge, so let's see what kind of reading we can get here. Looks like it, yep, it's showing 5.22 volts at 0.15 amps. Now, the AirPods don't draw a lot of power, so that is fairly accurate there, and it shows you that it's plugged in through USB Type-C, and because it doesn't need charging, it's not charging at the moment. Let's try one of our, let's see here. I'm going to plug in my iPhone. Now, my iPhone does need a little bit of a charge, and there we go there. It's showing, it's drawing 6 volts at 0.32 amps, and it's going to continue to go up until it finds the voltage that the phone's going to accept there. So it is working as expected, and so far it has drawn 4 milliamps. So it is working as expected. I'll hit the mode button to see what other readings we can get here. It looks like we can get different readings here. Yeah, so it's working as expected. So it's going to be able to monitor the voltage coming out of here. So right now it's drawing about 8.8 volts at 2.5 amps. So if we just take 8 times 2, that's 16 watts. So right now it's drawing 16 watts of power. So very cool. Working as expected. So if you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat room. If not, we are going to continue moving on here to the other products that we have to unbox here. So that is it for the 2 tools that I have to unbox today. And now we're going to move on to 2 power banks that I brought in. I know power banks don't sound very exciting, but these 2, there was a reason why I wanted to bring them in. So let me go ahead and grab them now. Let's zoom out here. Okay, so this, let me go ahead and highlight it in the carousel there. So you are now looking at the product that I'm looking at here in the carousel. What drew my attention to this is the fact that it has all the different charging cables that you might need to be able to charge a device, in addition to the charging ports, and it also has a readout on what the power state of the power bank is. So I thought that was very useful for a power bank. So I wanted to bring it in to test out. And this can also quick charge an iPhone because it can put out up to 22.5 watts, which is what is required for to quick charge an iPhone, and also Android phones using the quick charge protocol. And then obviously on the iPhone, it's the power delivery protocol. Okay, so what we get here is the USB. We get a micro USB port here. We get a USB Type-C port here. USB Type-A, 2 USB Type-A charging ports there. And then you get the LCD readout here. And there looks like there's a light here. Power button here. And a little lanyard, built-in lanyard there. Underneath the power bank is the various different cables. Ooh, these are a little difficult to get out here. Let me... Okay, that might be a problem. Okay, so we get 4 different charging cables here. We get a USB Type-A charging cable. We get a micro USB charging cable. We get a Lightning charging cable and a USB Type-C charging cable. I'm going to go ahead and hit the power button. Hopefully this has some charge. Oh, looks like that power button is actually for the light here. So if you hold it down, the side light turns on. Okay, shows you the power state there. It's currently at 98%. And I'm going to go ahead and plug this in to my phone here. And it immediately starts charging. Okay, so now I do have a different tool to be able to check the charge. So we're going to go USB Type-C. Input, actually, let's go here. Let's see if we can get this to work. I'm not entirely sure if the USB Type-C that's built into this power bank, if it is a charging port. And it is. Okay, so the USB Type-C is input and output, which is very good. Okay, so right now it's showing on my meter here that it is indeed fast charging. It's up to 18 watts at the moment. 19 watts now. So fast charging for the iPhone is going to be 20 watts. And it's going to continue to increase here. So we're almost at 20 watts. and it's going to continue to fluctuate. So this power bank definitely can fast charge an iPhone. And I don't have an Android device to test it on, but as you can tell here, you can see this little green light, which I believe indicates that it is fast charging. Let me go ahead and take this off. There we go there. So power bank is working as expected. If you guys have any questions on this power bank, let me know in the chat room, or any of the products that we've unboxed so far, let me know in the chat room. Let's see here. To pull the cables out was a little difficult, so I'm gonna have to check that out. I'll add my full review once I've had a chance to really check out everything that this power bank has. So definitely follow my page for that. And I have a lot more unboxings to get through aside from today. So definitely follow me if you want to check out the other products that I have here. All right, we're going to move on to the next product here. And the next one is another power bank, and this one is for laptops. Now this you typically don't see. Normally power banks are targeted for smaller devices like smartphones or even tablets at that. But this one is targeted for laptops. So the item is highlighted now in the carousel, so you could check it out. And here is the power bank itself. Very generic power bank. And let's go ahead and get this guy unboxed so we can take a look at it. See some folks tuned in from Amazon. Let me know that who you are in the chat room. That way I can say hi to you. Here is the user's manual. This is a 20,000 milliamp power bank. And what's interesting, since it is a laptop power bank, this power bank can put out up to 100 watts, which is plenty for any MacBook Pro laptop out there, and in general, just any laptop. Here is the charging cable, USB Type A to USB Type C. And here is the power bank. Now, what is different about this power bank that I can tell you right off the bat, the case is made of, feels like aluminum. So this thing is built like a tank. Very good. All right, so right up on top here, you can see 100 watts, 20,000 milliamp, just says power bank, very generic. On this side here, you get the LCD readout to give you the power state of the battery. You get 2 USB Type A charging ports and 2 USB Type C charging ports, and then you get the power button there. So I'm going to go ahead and power it on and see if this is... And there we go there. You can see that the LCD display. Let's see if I can get it in focus here. Come on. At any rate, couldn't get it in focus there, but it shows it has about 70% power. So it does give you the power state. Let me go ahead and grab a USB Type-C charging cable and plug this into my iPad here. And okay, it immediately began to charge, and it does give you a little green indicator light. Let's see if I can get this to focus. There we go there. You can see the little green indicator light there to show you that it is charging. So this is currently charging right now. It's charging my iPad. I'll go ahead and test this out later to make sure that we can get up to 100 watts out of this using the testers. So the USB Type-C charging port is both input. Looks like one is input, output. C2 is input. Yeah, both USB Type-C charging ports are input and output, so you can charge this using these USB Type-C charging ports, and then the USB Type-A's are just outputs. Very cool little power bank here, built like a tank. This thing, as I said, the case is made of aluminum, and it could put out up to 100 watts of power. So very good power bank here. We're going to move on to the next product. If you guys don't have any questions, and if you do, drop it in the chat room. That way we can discuss. Since I have the products right here. we're going to move on to the next one. The next one is a air duster. I want to explain a couple things about this in a second here. Now, I've already unboxed quite a few air dusters, and one of the things that I learned about these air dusters is typically if you're looking to not have to buy compressed air dusters and you're looking for something electronic to replace the air dust, the compressed air dusters with, then you would look at something like this. And one of the things that I learned is the RPMs of the motor. You really want an electric air duster that can get up to 90,000 RPMs. So far, the ones that I unboxed, the ones that can go up that high, put out a very strong stream of air. This one in particular here can go all the way up to 90,000 RPMs. And then what is also interesting about this one is that it's also a vacuum. So in the front, one end will blow air out, and on the opposite end, it'll suck air in. So it can be used dually as a vacuum or a blower. So let's go ahead and take a look at this now. The product is highlighted in the carousel, so you can check it out. And if you're just tuning in here to Amazon, my name is Adrian, and I am a tech enthusiast. I'm really passionate about electronics. And I love to do tech unboxings here on Amazon. So if you're into that type of content, definitely consider following my page. That way you get notified when I do go live, and you can join me and we can discuss these products while we're live on Amazon. All right, so we get a bunch of accessories here. So first of all, we get the user's manual. I may have to reference this. So it looks like this thing needs to be assembled here. And then you get different nozzles here. As you can, let me lay them out here. You can see the different, you get 4 different nozzles here. And then you get the charging cable, which is a USB Type A to USB Type C. Here is the unit itself. And I'm just going to go off of instinct here. It looks like the, okay, let's take a look here. Yeah. It looks like the filter goes on this end. Okay. Then this piece goes over. Now the filter, I'm not sure if it's supposed to snap in or it's just supposed to sit there. Okay. Now let's try to get this installed. All right, there it is. It locked in place, and now the filter is there in place. And it looks like we get 2 buttons here. You get one button here and another one here. This one I can already see turns 2 little LED lights that are in front here. Okay, so I am going to install this nozzle. Okay, that doesn't go there. Let's see. Looks like... interesting. Okay, looks like we need to install this one first. You guys are learning right with me, so this is without looking at any instructions. All right, there we go there. So now I'm going to turn this on. And there we go there. So we get 3 different levels. There's the highest level there. And you can hear from the audio, this thing is very strong. So this is working as expected. So you get 3 different levels there, and it feels like, let's see here. Okay, so it's sucking in the air from the back here, which makes sense because this would be the vacuum piece. So let's go ahead and flip. Looks like you do need, okay, so one thing to note here, this piece right here, don't lose it because that one is the one that fits over the opening. So once you get that into place, now we can use it as a vacuum. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so if you're going to use it as a vacuum, you can turn the handle. That way you can hold it like this. So now it's in vacuum mode. And this thing works very well. That's at level 1. There's level 2 and level 3. Very, very powerful. Very cool. Okay, so if I flip this back around now, turn the trigger, and now we can operate it as a blower, as you can see. Yeah, puts out a pretty good stream. Not the strongest, but definitely strong enough to be able to blow out general dust out of your electronic devices. So yeah, I'm really liking this product. I think it works very well. And another thing to note here, you get the power state of the rechargeable battery here. There's 1, 2, and 3, so it looks like it's fully charged at the moment. And then the USB Type-C charging port is on the back end of the handle right here. Very cool. So I'm really liking this as a general duster and vacuum for electronic devices, you know, because oftentimes when you get ports, electronic ports like this, sometimes you really don't want to blow the dust in, because then depending on how the port is, it might be open on the inside, and that's just going to blow dust into the electronic device that you're trying to clean out. So instead of doing that, you can just use the vacuum side of this to vacuum out any dust that might build up in certain ports that are open in the back like that. So very useful little product here. I'm gonna test this out in the in my studio here and see how well it works out for me. But so far, I can tell you right now, this thing works really great. I think it's a really cool design to have a vacuum and blower all in one. So let's go ahead and move on to the next product. The next two products are Thunderbolt products. And this one here is a Thunderbolt 4 cable. Now, I'm learning the whole USB Type-C, Thunderbolt 3, Thunderbolt 4 is very confusing. And one of the things that I learned is that if the cable that you're using is not Thunderbolt 3 or 4, or if it's not Thunderbolt certified, then, but it is USB 4, it can operate up to 40 gigabits a second, but it's not guaranteed. Versus the Thunderbolt certified cables, those have to operate at that level to be certified. This cable is not Thunderbolt certified, but it is rated up to 40 gigabits a second. So that is something I'm going to be testing out during my review. So if you're interested, definitely check out or follow my Amazon page. That way you can check out my full review once I am done testing this cable. But this one here in particular, 1.8 meters, it can support up to 100 watts of charging. And again, compatible with Thunderbolt 3, Thunderbolt 4, and it is USB 4. Transfer rates up to 40 gigabits a second. The jacket on this one is a silicone type material. And I can tell you right now, I really like this silicone material. It's very flexible. Some of these Thunderbolt cables can get real rigid, you know, especially when you get in the longer lengths. And then the connectors here are aluminum. So, and then you do have a real nice molded strain relief here that's also rubber. So I really like for my cables to have strain reliefs because that allows the cables to be bent, and you know, it just prevents the cables from breaking here at this point. This cable is built very well. Another thing that I like these cables to have is the information right on here. So you can see this one says USB 4 and 40 for 40 gigs a second. So I really like that because with USB Type-C, it makes things very confusing. You can have a cable that is not Thunderbolt. It is not USB 4. It's just a regular old USB cable with USB Type-C connections. You know, makes things very confusing. So for my cables to identify what they are right on the connector is very useful, especially when you have a drawer full of cables. That way you can quickly identify which one you need. So again, I'm going to be testing the performance of this cable, but I can tell you right now, as far as the physical aspects of this cable, it is built very well. It's very flexible. I do like the jacket being made out of, it's like a rubber or silicone rubber. Very flexible. The connectors are molded very well. It feels like this cable is built that it's going to last me quite a bit of time here. So looking forward to testing this out. We've got one more product here. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat room. Next product is also a Thunderbolt 4 product, and this one also comes with a story. Now, one of the things that I learned, I put together my own SSD. It's this guy right here. So I bought an enclosure, SSD enclosure, and then I put a really fast M.2 SSD in this. And it performs very well, but one thing that I learned quickly, I use an ATEM Extreme ISO to do these broadcasts and also record as I'm doing these broadcasts. And I was using this drive, and I noticed that it would stop recording after about half an hour. And then I quickly figured out what it is. Because it's a high-performance SSD, it starts putting out a lot of heat. And even though it has an adhesive piece inside to be able to dissipate the heat, it was still getting too hot, so it would stop. And it would stop my recording, you know, about half an hour into my broadcast. So, learning about that, I found this enclosure, and this is for an M.2 SSD, which is what I've got here. This one is rated at Thunderbolt 3 and 4 speeds, so 40 gigabits a second, so very high performance. But this enclosure is larger, and what I'm hoping to achieve here is to be able to dissipate the heat a lot more efficiently than what this is doing here. And I want to see if I can achieve being able to record out of my ATEM ISO Extreme without it stopping due to overheating. So here's what we get in the box. We get a cable, USB Type-C to USB Type-C, and see, this is what I'm talking about here. They identify what it is. So this is a Thunderbolt 3 cable. There's the Thunderbolt sign and Thunderbolt 3. So this is a certified Thunderbolt 3 cable. We get some adhesives to be able to serve as heat sinks or heat transfer tape. Okay. Then we get the instruction manual. And here is the enclosure. Now I can tell you right off the bat, this enclosure is made out of aluminum. It has some weight to it, which is what I was hoping for, because based on the feel of this enclosure, it feels like this thing is really going to be able to dissipate the heat as I need it to. On the back of the unit, you get the USB Type-C charging port, or not charging port, data port here, and then an LED indicator light right next to it. On the sides, you get the little grill here to be able to dissipate heat. The bottom, there's nothing there. And that is it. You get the brand name here, ACASIS. And then this piece says open, so that cracks open there. And there you go there. You've got the PC board here. And then the SSD is going to drop right in and connect to this. I'm going to have to read the instructions on how to install the SSD into this. So again, this is going to be something that I'm going to be testing out and uploading my full review on my Amazon page once I am done with that there. All right, so yep, I'm going to be taking the SSD out of here, installing it into this one, and then testing it on my ISO Extreme and see See if we can get better performance out of this SSD. Now, shows that it is compatible with Thunderbolt 3, 4, USB 3.2, 3.1, 3.0, and 2.0. So basically, I'm going to be able to plug this into any computer. All right, that is going to do it for all the items that we have today. If you guys have any questions on any of the stuff that I unboxed here today, let me know in the chat room now. Otherwise, if you are watching the recorded version either on Facebook or YouTube, drop in a comment on any questions that you might have on any of the stuff, and I'll be sure to get back to you there as well. And hopefully you're following my Amazon page. I'm really trying to build this community up, being that I'm passionate on tech products and electronics just in general. I have a bunch of stuff to still unbox, so we're going to be going live throughout the week here. I have a lot of photography equipment to unbox. I have some lighting to unbox. I have let's see, I have a monitor, 24 or 27-inch 4K mini LED monitor. So I'm looking forward to unboxing that one. I'm looking for a really good full-size reference monitor. Currently, I use my iPad 12.9-inch M1 Pro as a reference screen, but I do want one fixed on my desk as well. So I'm looking forward to taking a look at that too. So definitely follow my page if you're interested in products like that. And it doesn't look like I'm getting any questions here, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and I hope to see you guys on the next live. Adios.